Tonight at 6 on Alaska's news source, a major wildfire sparking up north. What experts are saying about this wildfire season.
And the abatement of a homeless camp in Anchorage sparks new concerns. What's next at Davis Park?
Well, the summer heat is here, and so are warnings and advisories. I'll have more on how long this warm weather sticks around and what it means.
And a closure on the Dalton Highway remains in place, but there's a new timeline for reopening.
Plus, education funding cuts prompting big reactions across Alaska. What lawmakers say they are hearing now.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
It's on a statewide effort, so that's the deal. There is, if we can be careful with our fires, we don't want to have to shut down burning. We will if we get into the conditions, but if you can follow the rules, that helps us to be able to put firefighters where they're needed on some of these bigger fires.
Tonight, a plea to the public to be extra careful as crews across Alaska gear up for a busy wildfire season.
Already proven with the start of several large fires in the interior. Well, good evening. Red flag warnings are in place across multiple regions of Alaska tonight.
And crews are manning several large fires as we speak. One of those is the Oskawalik fire near Crooked Creek. As of last check from our newsroom, containment of this fire was at just 9% with 90 firefighters and supporting aircraft in place.
Yeah, check out this video from the Division of Forestry. You can see that red flame retardant being dropped from a plane. Officials are warning that hot and dry conditions are contributing to the potential for rapid fire growth.
We'll talk more about those high fire danger conditions that we've been seeing across Alaska in just a bit, but they are only adding to the concern surrounding a homeless encampment here in Anchorage that's being abated today.
The municipality is in the process, as we speak, of cleaning up the Davis Park encampment. But today, multiple fires sparked in the area, several of them suspicious, and dozens of crews were on scene to put them all out. Joe Allgood is live on that scene tonight, but first, Lauren Maxwell tells us more about what happened at the camp earlier today.
It was all going smoothly this morning until the unexpected happened, when things literally went up in flames. It happened at the snow dump across from Davis Park, a little before noon. One of the wooden structures where people had been living was suddenly on fire. Crowds watched the flames and the billowing black smoke, including one man who lives here but said he wasn't involved.
It was done on purpose. It was just a way for them to go out with a bang. They were planning it for the past 3 nights. Loaded up with all kinds of plastic burnables and diesel. Once it goes, it'll just...
The fire department was able to put it out quickly, but no sooner had this fire been quelled when others started popping up across the street at the back end of Davis Park. At least 3 separate structures were on fire, apparently in protest of the abatement.
It's their send-off. We did that, yeah!
The fire department again put the flames out quickly, but called the situation extremely suspicious. There were no injuries and also no arrests. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Well, happening right now, crews still at work at that camp here in Anchorage.
So we're going to head now to Joe Allgood, who's live at Davis Park. Joe, what are you seeing down there right now? It's been a very busy day in the park.
Augusta, as of right now, Davis Park behind me is still closed to the general public as the municipal crews and Anchorage police continue to clear up the remains of that encampment. Police also tell us that they've cleared all people from the park as well as the Anchorage snow lot behind me here, though they anticipate weeks of work to clear up the rest of the remains. The police also said that they have extinguished all the fires in the area that were burning this morning and that there weren't any injuries in the process of doing so. Now, police say that there were several people redirected to shelters throughout the municipality, though they weren't able to give an exact number of how many there were. Meanwhile, some of the folks that we've talked to have wondered whether or not the abatement will be sustainable. I'll have more for you tonight. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
All right, great reporting, Joe. Thanks so much. And it is hot and dry in the interior. That means red flag conditions.
Yeah, Jackie Purcell says that summer heat is coming with consequences. She joins us with a look at that first forecast.
Yeah, we all want that summer heat, but when it comes rapidly and it sticks around, it does come with some concerns. Let's talk about what is going on in the interior, and it is convective activity. Look at all the lightning strikes occurring as thunderstorms are firing up. We have red flag warnings. That's a combination of hot, dry conditions, low relative humidity, and then also that heat into the interior. I know it's a lot to read, but it's when you're dealing with danger like this, what can you do? Be vigilant. Make sure that you're watching out for thunderstorms because lightning associated with that can ignite fires. And when thunder roars, the motto is go indoors. Watch out for those gusty winds. That can spread fire. And never in the heat leave your kids or your pets in your vehicles. Also, hydrate, drink water, use your sunscreen, and try to stay cool. In the Fairbanks area, they're at 73 degrees right now, and the winds are out of the northeast at 22 miles per hour, part of the concern that firefighters have. Much lighter wind conditions here in the south central region, just 8 miles per hour, and cool, too, 54 degrees in here, the Anchorage area. The continuation of some scattered showers into Wednesday, but it should lighten up a bit. So the heat, though, that's going to remain as we go through the rest of the week, and even the south central area will be heating up. So low 70s possible for us. They're back into the 80s in interior Alaska. For thunderstorms, that's also a possibility in the afternoon. 60s, though, mid-60s for both Juneau and Bethel. I'll have more on the forecast coming up a little bit later, but you just need to be careful and vigilant out there, especially in interior Alaska.
Thanks for keeping an eye on that, Jackie. And fire season in Alaska did see an early start this year, partly because of low snowpacks in some areas, and now it's ramping up across the state.
The Division of Forestry and Fire Protection says more than 40 new wildfires have been reported in the last 24 hours. The Oskawalik fire in southwest Alaska does remain the largest wildfire in the state right now, burning around 1,500 acres.
The DOF also wants to remind residents to be cautious if you plan to start a fire. Check restrictions in your area first and make sure you get burn permits if you need them.
What we see 99% of the time is if you have a burn permit and you're following those rules, you don't have an escaped fire. And a lot of the fires that we respond to are people that didn't have, if they're human starts, people that didn't have that burn permit and were following the kind of rules of engagement with it.
Well, developing now, Division of Forestry says crews are responding to a new fire just north of Pleasant Valley. It's off mile 24 of Chena Hot Springs Road. Well, a Wasilla man was arraigned in federal court today, pleading not guilty in a case surrounding the overdose death of a 16-year-old girl last year. 45-year-old Sean Mobley is the suspect in 16-year-old Alina Tonis's overdose death. Federal charges against him, which include distribution of a controlled substance resulting in serious bodily injury or death, are in addition to the state charges he's already facing, and he's also pleaded not guilty to. Court documents say that in November 2024, Mobley gave Tonis what was believed to be fentanyl, but later proved to be carfentanil, which is said to be 100 times more potent than fentanyl. Prosecutors say after an autopsy, they found that she had died from a mix of carfentanil, methamphetamine, and hypothermia, meaning they believe she was alive when they say Mobley abandoned her under power lines in Wasilla. Now, in addition to Tonis's family, others from the community who have lost loved ones to fatal overdoses stood outside of Anchorage's federal courthouse with photos of those who they'd lost. Right now, the next hearing for Mobley's federal case has been set for August 18th. If convicted, he faces a mandatory minimum sentence, 20 years, and a maximum sentence of life in prison.
All righty, now let's get to some education news. Some lawmakers tell Alaska's news source an education special session is unlikely because in addition to Governor Dunleavy's education funding veto, he also vetoed special session funding. And that comes after calls around the state, including a Fairbanks protest this afternoon, have urged the legislature to override the governor's veto of almost $51 million in education funding. As he signed the budget last week, the governor cited uncertain oil prices. Along with the session funding veto, some of the same legislators who overrode the governor's first education veto say they also would not have enough votes. Without a special session, many lawmakers say the first time they'll be able to take on the school funding crisis is in January when the next session starts. Until then, school districts are forced to make overnight cuts. We've asked the governor for an interview to explain his decision several times. A spokesperson says he's not available. Expanded coverage, including how this is all going to impact the Matsu district, is on our website and mobile app.
And still ahead on Alaska's news source, the Anchorage Fire Department issuing a warning to the public, and it's not about fire safety.
Had a lot of that this evening, and later we head to the interior to learn more about a special space and Flora Fun on the UAF campus. We'll be right back.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Dozens of firefighters across the country are killed each year while responding to emergencies on the roadways. That's according to the Anchorage Fire Department, whose staff tell Georgina Fernandez that they have faced some close calls themselves.
When we're working in the roadway, we're trying to solve problems, trying to save lives.
Many of those who respond to emergencies face danger each day, even at the most common of scenes.
Emergency responders that respond to vehicle accidents working in the roadway poses one of the most significant risks to first responders.
Take the Anchorage Fire Department. It responded in early June to a report of a crashed vehicle that had gone into a building on Gamble Street. While on scene, there were other near collisions involving passing cars.
In fact, in one case, a vehicle came within an inch of striking one of our first responders.
A scary, yet very real, and even common scenario.
We all show up to work wanting to make a difference and to help people, but we also show up wanting to end the day happy, healthy, to be able to return to our own families.
And a threat to people and property too. All these apparatus are custom made for the Anchorage Fire Department. And if one breaks, it can take them 3 to 5 years to replace it.
When we lose an apparatus because of an accident or because of a mechanical problem, it really puts us at a deficit. There have been times where we haven't had enough apparatus to put on the streets. It really puts us behind the 8 ball when we don't have the apparatus to get where we need to go.
The more attention and small actions on the road.
It's always best to give at least one lane of space. That gives us ample room to operate.
Can be a big way to help our first responders.
We count on the citizens to help look out for us when we're out there working on an emergency scene.
Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.